This is Trekland, and we're live. Farewell, Commander. Hello, Q. And wow, LockDownCon. Yep, today on Trekland Tuesdays Live with me, Dr. Trek, Larry Nemecek, coming at you right here from the heart of Trekland through Portal 47 for some clarity, sanity, and the big picture in all things Star Trek. Hey, I hope we're on a good signal, and I hope everybody is popping in here pretty quick. There we go. Hey, if you are finding us for the first time, hang tight. I'm going to talk about, well, I got a triple threat today. Got a triple whammy topics here. I don't usually do that, but we're going to hit 1, 2, 3 in a row. A lot of stuff to cover today, really, though. Some more news, some more things coming up. If you're new, hang on. I'm going to get to the chat 1-to-1. I don't stream back and forth, so be patient, Twitchers. Stick with me. But we'll take a break midway. We'll do the Parrot Analytics streaming TV ratings for the U.S. top 10, and then we'll dive into the chat, okay? Sound like a deal? Hey, I just want to remind everybody that I also want to thank our Patreon folks, our TTL Club, get it, and our live wires. Thanks to you guys and gals. Thanks to everybody. Yeah, listen, let's get on with it. I don't usually just, follow the news unless I've got something really personal to say about it, because I have 47 million other pundit YouTube and podcast brethren and sistren out there do the same thing. But this week I did want to just give a couple of shout outs here and let you know about something coming up this weekend. Okay, so hang on. First of all, farewell, Commander. We lost Joanne Linville this week, just a couple of days ago. She was 93, had a wonderfully long life. I guess it kind of became a little, I'd seen her over the years at conventions, especially in the earlier years. She was such a memorable character. I'm in Commander on Enterprise Incident. We never saw her again on film, but she populated, especially in the first generation when you only had 80 episodes, 80 hours, 79 episodes. She populated so much of fan fiction because of, her linkage, her chemistry with Spock. And in the time when there were almost as many Romulan shows as Klingon shows with speaking characters. Only 2 Romulans, not that many more, only 3 memorable real Klingon commanders. So it really wasn't as far apart as we thought then, as it seemed in later days. And Joanne just inhabited that woman. She was a character actress. Much has been said about, she's one of those actors that worked constantly from the 50s through the 80s. Thank goodness for Star Trek elevating her craft here. She was also a very memorable Twilight Zone episode. She played the Sunbelle with a great twist ending at the end. I wonder if we should rerun that episode. Oh, well, many Twilight episodes would be great to rerun these days. But it became a little more personal to me. I talked to her over the years very briefly, especially in the earlier years, but it was a great treat and amazing, and something a lot of you know of. It's her daughter, Amy Rydell, played that character on Star Trek Continues in the finale. And it was just amazing. The makeup, you've seen them. People have commented on that for the last few years. And then she was very sweet when that elevated Amy's online, her social media profile, her audience, and she was doing a lot of sweet things with her mom. Her mom loved seeing her playing the character that was retconned by various folks in and out of fanfic and profic, and then we used the name, James Kerwin, and the crew on Continues used the name Charvanek as a proper name, full name. Anyway, instead of calling that cumbersome Romulan commander, and then you had to say, well, is it the male Romulan commander from Balance of Terror that also went unnamed, or is it the female Romulan commander? And that's so bulky and unwieldy. She deserved more than that. She deserved better than that. It was such an incredible, but she deserved to not be relegated to one appearance. But such is life. That's why it was a treat to see Amy amazingly pull off the look and the character so well. People thought we had put Joanne in a time machine and sent back to 1968 for that appearance. So yes, one more thing, someone, and I'd never thought about this, but then, I'm just a white guy. Someone noted that Joanne's Romulan commander was the first time we had seen any female in command in Star Trek. I mean, totally man, not counting number one even as a second. And yes, Romulan, not Starfleet, but still. Amazing Dorothy Fontana episode, we should say. And of course, yet one that made a lot of the Spockophiles insanely angry at the way their attraction, their chemistry, their relationship was played out. As much as it thrilled a lot of the audience, a lot of the folks that had Vulcan canon in their heads at the time, all through the 70s, were not happy with that. And then it was compounded even more with Spock and Roxine's conversation in Cloudbinders. But that's a whole other chapter of history. Farewell, Joanne. Farewell. And hello, Q. And hello, good old fandom. The trailer for Picard Season 2 is out. It looks, I'm going to say this, it looks very linear. You almost forget that we're talking about a 10 or 12 episode story arc here, not individual episodes. And everything you see is playing into the fact that obviously something's wrong. Time is broken, not spoiling anything here at all. And all the scenes we see are meant to give us a sense of how people look in this different time. And Picard's at the pivot point of it, or as we should say, something that's not a surprise. And maybe it was supposed to be. Maybe it was supposed to be before John Delancey leaked and spilled the beans like a month ago. Imagine what that trailer's impact would have been if we weren't forewarned, if it wasn't spoiled. So naughty, John. That was a very Q-like, impish act there to play on CBS promotion, Paramount Plus promotion department. But still, the trailer made a lot of waves, a lot of good stuff in there. Seems to me a lot of people didn't get the picture that it's obviously an alternate timeline where something's going to be restored, like we haven't seen that in of all the Treks, I think it was Next Generation that's played the most of with time like that, alternate time, timeline, broken time, revisited time, from the pilot with the post-Holocaust, Holocaust horrors courtroom, to the book ending of that again, but also the whole 3 phases of time, broken time, the time anti-time anomaly in the finale, and plenty of times in between for other episodes too. What got me though, and I didn't even see it in the first wave, we knew John Delancey was going to be in this. What are they going to do? We're going to deep fake his face? We're going to CG him back to looking like it's 1988 again? Or even 2005 in the last episodes of Voyager with his son Q2? Point here is I was a little taken. I thought it was a joke at first where people were upset that he was, the beard maybe it's mirror, but forget that. I think it's just a different look. There was a section of fandom that was upset that Q was older. Like the Q don't age. Guys, gals, peeps, the Q can do whatever the hell they want to. And as a lot of fandom has since pushed back on, which yay for it not being 2010. Yeah, the Q can do whatever they want to. And ye of little memory, let's not forget that when Q popped in to talk to Picard at the very beginning in Farpoint, he misjudged the time element. He popped in as a Shakespearean era, an Elizabethan era sea captain, and then he upgraded to a World War II Marine, and then he upgraded to a World War III, soldier with the drug pipe and the whole bit. He was not sure about what he should be doing. He might have been teasing, but it seems like he was not quite sure where to pop in. We've certainly seen him remember the floaty head cobra? And yes, as many people pointed out, he and Picard, or he matched Picard's age, the whole thing with the hearing horn. We've seen Q old before. So it was an artistic, yes, John Delancey is older. So boo on all the fans who nicely said, well, it's because John's older. Well, yeah, but we don't care about that. This is Star Trek, damn it. And there's a reason for everything. And there's an easy reason for everything. As a lot of fans have said, Q was going to come at Picard. He was going to match him, which is handy. Yes. It's like, the Romulans are getting their technology from the Klingons in 2269, and they're not using their birds of prey anymore. Convenient when you toss the model away or it gets lost or stolen in real life. So sure, that's the real life of it. But in canon, it's there's totally a texture not trivia. There's totally a hashtag use the universe reason out there. Q is malleable. They're omnipotent, which means they can do anything. And just as a convenience, whether it was offered or whether it was asked, they're not throwing Delancey into a chair. Why emphasize how young he might even be with CGI? That would just serve to make Picard look old. I mean, the contrast would be weird. Then it would be who's out of time. Then you would wonder if this is Q from 25 years ago, not the Q from right now, as if that makes any sense. Right. We've saw the many faces. And of course, John aged over the time from 1987 to 2000, not 2005, 2001, excuse me. That's Enterprise's last year. But even more than that, whether the long-standing, still not settled in canon, official on-screen canon, not even books, but there's still the lagging thing out there of Trelane and what exactly Trelane was. And if you halfway open the door to there being a connection, whether Trelane's a Q or what it is, remember that Trelane, which was a giveaway that he was a kid and not a mature, he wasn't up there as well his species might have allowed him to be, Q or otherwise, as cunning and as insightful a foe. Once the new wore off of, I've got transmutational powers and I can manipulate time and energy. Once that wore off, and the computer-killing persona of Captain Kirk came into play finally. But remember, Trelane betrayed the chinks in his armor by guessing the wrong era, too. He came at Kirk Napoleonically. So, that's just a sidebar. Maybe you don't connect Trelane and Q, maybe not. My point is, there is a history of the Continuum folks, the Q folks, being able to match. And we've seen them full of all kinds of foibles, from Quinn wanting to commit suicide to procreating and not procreating and then procreating again, and the foibles of adolescent Qs, vindictive Q judges taking away Q powers and giving them back. It's, why are we not had a Q series? What the hell would that look like? So yeah, but the biggest upshot of this was just watching good old fandom go at it and pop out there, and having some people upset by that. I mean, what do they want? I guess people want to be frozen in time forever with the 80s, and that's wonderful. They're there, and they're a historical document, but we're in another time of history here. And Q can wear whatever they want and look like whatever they want. And bottom line, the fact that Delancey's Q chose to do that is yet again another hashtag texture not trivia. If the Q really had the option to come in however they want, then once again, that's a choice. That is a choice by Q, just as surely as it was for him to try to throw the gang into the Sherwood Forest scenario, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, that was amusing. It was as much amusing it was almost a total sideshow to just having the teaser. Anyway, I hope we're coming in on a good stream this week. I hope we are. Hey, I said three topics this week. Yes. Hello, LockDownCon. Have you heard of this? It's probably off your radar. That's why I'm doing it. This weekend, my friend Neil and Jaina, the Halfords, they're having an entire... Here we are. I've talked about it before. See the LockDownCon logo there. This is LockDownCon 2. Hey, weeks into the pandemic, before the rest of the world even began to pivot. I'm talking about Comic-Con. I'm talking about all the commercial cons. Before any of that happened, the world was still coming, well, most of the world. Some of us had been habitating here for a while. Thanks, TTLers. Thanks, Portales. My friends Neil and Jana pivoted to having an all-virtual convention because they saw what was going. They were working on it in March. Put it out in June. LockDownCon was a great success. It was basically a full-fledged, multi-spectrum Comic-Con, all kinds of ideas and topics. A lot of guests, a lot of high-profile guests involved for 3 days, I believe. Well, LockDownCon 2 is coming because 3 or 4 months ago, we weren't sure quite how the summer was progressing. Here in the States, asterisk, in the States, in some of the states, things are going cautiously, tentatively well. Not in those states where the vaccination rates are low. And yes, around the world, there's a completely different reaction, including the supply of vaccine. It's a troublesome, uneven topic all around the world. So, LockDownCon 2 is happening again. It's 2 days this weekend, and yes, I'm on a panel. And did you see who's on this panel? Look at this. It's myself. It's the great Andre Bormanis. It's David Mack, and a couple of names that you may know if you're playing Star Trek Adventures. Hey, Derek Tyler Attico and Kelly Fitzpatrick. Okay, awesome. It's not pre-recorded, as San Diego Comic-Con is. It's live. And you have the chance to do live chat interaction. Neil is the moderator. And we'll be live Saturday at 1 o'clock at LockDownCon.com. At the site, they also have a channel on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So if you have a preference there, you can follow along. You can follow both days' schedule. The entire schedule for both days is at LockDownCon.com. It's up now. You can go check it out. Our panel is live at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 Eastern. What is that? 9 UK and 10 Central European? It should be. That's the times of this thing that I'm doing right now. So anyway, I want to spread the word. Share that out if you see it on our socials. Would you please? It'll be a lot of fun. The topic is, did you see that? But is it Trek? And we've got folks here, all of whom have worked in the license world and all count themselves as big Trek fans. Okay? You don't want to miss that. It'll be a rip-roar, rip-rousing. Yeah, we're going to take that old fandom, the question of our time, which is really, I was mentioning the big Spock 3rd season original series debate of the 70s among some factions of fandom. It's a question that never gets old, never goes away. And woe to those who think it's just something that popped up just now. No. It's just that time smooths all canon eventually, finds a way. So hey, yeah. Farewell, Joanne. Hello, Q, in whatever form you choose to take. And I see what you did there. And please spread the word. Whoa, it is LockDown coming. There's panels of all, if you're, whatever your genre preference is, or writing, cosplay, makeup, film production, in all, across the board, everything you expect to see at a full-blown, say, San Diego Comic-Con, Neil and Jana have lined up as panels there over the 2 hours. So, yes, David Mack, thank you, Captain Calvin Cat, wrote the magnificent Star Trek Destiny books. I think of David as going way, way, way back with all the books he's written over the years, including coming in to pitch, coming to co-write and co-pitch a couple of DS9 episodes. Yes, Starship Down being one of them, top of my head. But he's been around there, yeah. So, let's see what I got stirred up. Hey, everybody. I want to run down what's going on in Trekland real quick. I just told you about LockDownCon, right? Well, I want to first thank again all of our TTL clubbers here and our live wires: Blaze K, Robin Wilson, Lawrence Todd, Anne-Marie Siegel, Blake Arledge, Justin Porteous, and Nathaniel Robinson. Thank you, TTLers. And our live wires: hey, Rusty Harrell, Hubbard, Gun Johnson, Jalen Bullock, Gary Williams, Jared Cooper, Mr. Vestek, Robert McLean, and Casey Shafsky. Thanks a lot. Thanks so much. If you want to help out, if you're not familiar with Patreon, go check it out. Patreon lets you support your favorite creatives project by project or even on an ongoing basis. I have a very simple one. Some folks have very complicated like crowdfunding platforms. Mine is very simple, $5 and $10 a month. They bill it. Thank you so much. Everybody gets a shout out. The $10 folks get access, yikes, to original earlier year guest hours and 90 minutes in many cases that we had on Portal 47 with the Portales, right? It was behind the paywall, as they say, and they just been sitting there. So we're sharing access to those. Thank you, guys. I also want to remind you all something that may have gotten buried in the delayed release last week after I edited. Think Trek. It's the Gene Roddenberry Centennial. This is what Roddenberry.co has branded Gene Roddenberry's Centennial Year. You go to the page, there's Think Trek, Be Trek, Talk Trek. These are all hashtags to get everybody involved. I've got something coming. We're still working on the page, but you get in touch with me. I'm offering a tour trek. The Great Birds Origin Tour LA, October 16th and 17th weekend here in LA. It's 2 days of going to the venues and sites, boyhood homes, married homes, workplaces, LAPD. It's going to be with context, right? We're going to stop by some, stop at others, pass others by, but it's going to really give us an insight into this mind that, yes, was later added to, but where the heck did the revolutionary concept of Star Trek that has affected so many people and so many later generations of creators, so many, where did that mind, where did that life come from? And yes, Rod, his son, is going to be a special guest on chosen parts of the tour. It's all in the works. It's still coming together. It's still planning. It's exciting. Get in touch with me. I'm going to offer it with and without a hotel option in the pricing to settle everybody's budget. Help. Get in touch with me right now. Let me know in the chat or come over to LarryNemecek.com. Larry@LarryNemecek.com. Email me right now if you are interested. I know there's lots going on. People are still getting antsy about going to Vegas. Just a reminder that Geek Nation Tours, maybe for the last time, the way Vegas and the Rio and the way everything is in flux, we'll see what happens in future years. A lot of folks are braving the pandemic or what's left of it just to be at the Rio, just to be in Vegas one more time, even with the licensing shifting to Reed Pop next year. Creation's going ahead, and if you are there, what may be the last time Geek Nation Tours, Terrace Cassidy and I offer the Valley of Fire, what I call the Kirk Memorial Tour. So go to geeknationtours.com, check it out. It's the #1 tour right now. It's the next one up. It's just the 1 day. It's on Tuesday, Con Eve, so you don't miss anything of the 5-day con if you're going to Vegas. It's on Tuesday, but you do need to come in Monday night because we're leaving at 7 a.m. to beat the heat. Okay, it's what we've done before. If you've been with us before and want to come one more time, that's great. If you have been, tell others what it was like. It's lunch. It's the filming sites from Generation, as you might have guessed, out in the Valley of Fire State Park, which is an hour away from Vegas. But we are gone about 6-7 hours. From 7 to 2? Yeah, that's 7 hours. And we're back in time for you to get your kick on for the opening night, con night, including STLV landing party at the Masquerade, which we're planning on having once again, maybe for the last time. Certainly, probably at the Masquerade, at the Rio, anyway. So, hey, busy week. That's all coming up, and that's without me even getting to, yes, what else is going on around the rest of Trekland. We are still on hiatus for the Trek Files, but hey, there's 6 seasons worth of catalog for you to check out. We will be back July 13th. Season 7 starts July 13th. Until then, if you're missing us on Tuesdays, I'm sure there's an old one that's worth revisiting from back in the day. Meanwhile, this weekend, yes, Life Support Live will be back. But hey, due to a lingering need of his moving, look for us. We just agreed on this morning. It's going to be a special Sunday edition of Life Support Live. So lifers, we just got this on the site. We're telling everybody right now. Same time on Sunday, not Saturday. Just set your clock back or ahead. 24 hours. It'll be 10 a.m. Sunday Pacific time. Okay? 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 Central European Summer Time on Sunday. But it'll still be Dr. Trek and Dr. Ali, one of us being a real doctor, going boldly through uncertain times. We've got a topic picked out. I have to remember what it was. We'll have a lot of fun, okay? Join us for Life Support Live. Go over and like the Facebook page. You can find out all about us there. If you're unfamiliar with Life Support Live, we have a lot of fun. And, of course, we've got the lifers in the chat just like here. And we talk back and forth all the way through, unlike yours truly here. So, hey, it's good to see everybody. Hopefully the stream is held up. If you're with me on YouTube, that's my Twitter, Larry Nemecek. If you're with us here on Facebook, that's my Instagram, Larry Nemecek's Trekland. And, of course, we're retooling. We've got some exciting things coming down the pike. But if you want to jump in, if you like where I come from, today wasn't such a controversial topic. I just wanted to give some shout-outs and some nods. And, okay, a little commentary there with good old Trek fandom on the Q situation. Controversy? I think not. Use the canon, Luke. You can join us every month in Portal47.net. Hey, it's like a mini-con all year long. We've been doing this for nearly 6 years. It'll be 6 years in September, October this fall. Thanks so much for everybody joining us today. I'll be right back. If you're on YouTube, we're going away, though. If you're on YouTube, later we're going away. But live right now, I'll be back in just a second. As soon as I wish everybody my desire for you. Stay healthy. Yes. Still do all the things. Okay? Stay woke. Check the sources. They're out there. They're multiplying. I've seen people I know with more and more fake accounts. Check out who it is you're dealing with if you feel like being drawn in. And most of all, trek well, everybody. All right. All right. Let's take a real quick look at the parrots because, you know, they are what they are. Still no Star Treks in the top 10. I didn't check out where the individual shows are in the bottom 10. No, in the next 10, in the second 10. They're all probably ranked between 10 and 20 on Parrot Analytics ranking system, which if you're new to us or new to Parrot, it's an algorithm they call average demand expression, which basically is what's the buzz online in all forms. Professional, fan, is it original, is it retweeted, is it critical? And they're looking at the online buzz as an apples to apples way to judge popularity. It has its drawbacks. Now, Nielsen's had the ratings for the terrestrial with commercials since the dawn of time. Kind of a moot point with the digitals, right? So the digital companies, Netflix and Hulu, and yes, Paramount Plus, etc., all keep those numbers to themselves because knowledge is power. And there's no need for advertisers to know what's popular or not for setting ad rates because it's a moot point. My point is that this week, as they measure the on-demand expressions as a factor of times an average show, which is the middle 3/4 of the spectrum, right? The very, very top 2.7% are in the outstanding. The very top 2.7%, and then the top 3.3% are the exceptional shows. That's where barely the top 10 are. All the Star Treks are well within that next tier, way ahead of the average bulk of what's taking up your show times, whether it's digital only or it's terrestrial. This week's Stranger Things is up to number 1, bumped Lucifer, which dropped all at once and dropped down. Stranger Things this week is 40.3 times more popular than average show, which is still, all of these are rather reduced factors. Then Lucifer, then Loki, which is zoomed up but didn't take number 1, which just premiered and is doing week to week. Then The Mandalorian, Handmaid's Tale, which had its season finale and is already, didn't peak out and is already dropping. Its series finale, I should say. WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Cobra Kai, Clone Wars, and Titans rounds up the top 10. The top 10 ending at 24.4 times. So kind of a compressed range there. Now, the digitals weren't big overall. The overall ranks for everybody, SpongeBob is still number 1 at 64 and change times more popular than average show. Then Rick and Morty, My Hero Academia. Rick and Morty, with the buzz before its new season coming next week, apparently. That's its lift. Then My Hero Academia. Saturday Night Live. I guess some people are just really enjoying those reruns. Game of Thrones, The Flash, Attack on Titan, Stranger Things, Sesame Street, still living off the reunion show, the anniversary show, and Lucifer there. So only 2 digitals in the top 10 overall. There we go. Hey, we're done. We're done with the parrots. We're done with my soapbox. Let's see what everybody's talking about. And let me hope that the streaming has not been a barrier this week. Okay? Let's see. If you're new to Tuesdays Live, I will try to give you a shout out. Okay, everybody? Questions are always preferred, or if it's been a long time since we've seen you. Hopefully everybody's here. Good to see everybody. Hi, Adam. Adam Fuel. It's been a while, I think, maybe. Ian Whitcomb. Hello, hello. Robert McLean. Thank you, aside for being a Patreoner. Thank you. Thank you for the James Whitmore's Will Rogers USA photo. I am overdue to thank you for that. That was very thoughtful. I was kind of knocked over. An autographed picture of course, who's passed. I saw his show when I was in high school in Oklahoma City when he came through town. Of course, doing Will Rogers in Oklahoma is a big thing. He knew he had a lot of pressure. And it was a birthday present my mom took me. And it was awesome. So thank you. You're awesome. That was very sweet. Let's see. We got everybody's here. Good. YouTube is back working. I think I was in part of some universal plot on YouTube last week. I did, guys, I am getting these edited. 1 week was a disaster, but I am trying to slice and dice, the upfront soapbox part for YouTube. I don't know if anybody's ever gone to look at it. They're still not great at all, but they're way better than what you experienced in live, hopefully. It takes hours and hours, and I'm frankly tired of it. But it's YouTube. What can I say? Yes, Linda. Her daughter did do an amazing job. There we go. Boom. Yeah, I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. Glenn, I'm the same way. It was really heartening to see that Joanne got to see her daughter bring the commander back. Charvanek, good back. Hey, coming in on YouTube, speaking of which, we've got Daniel Co. So good to see you there, Daniel. Good to know that YouTube is working. Zahir, are we seeing... This is interesting, and it's enough to keep little kids talking, right? Asking questions. Are we seeing some form of Seven or Annika? Well, if she's still Annika Hansen, who is never assimilated, where does that leave her? At least she's not running a French nightclub, singing in a French nightclub in World War II. Yeah, Glenn, see, this is my thing about spoilers. I mean, there's Thunderclap. There's Thunderclap news, and then there's still, you can't spoil this. It's impossible to spoil this. Yeah, you knew it was coming, but to still see what it looks like, the shape it takes, it can still, yes, provide goosebumpy moments. This is true, Zahir. Is this possibility of being a fix to the timeline? In tandem with what Discovery did? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Again, it's enough to make little fans ask questions. Yeah. Again, see, yes, Glenn. Aside from Q having the ability, he had the intention, or so, if we're reading between the lines and the subtext. I just don't understand. I guess it's trigger happy. Might have been some trolls, except I know some of the people who were asking the question, who were sincerely confused. Yeah. And it's not 2017 or 2018 either. We've gotten a lot savvier as a fandom. Maybe I'm overblowing this. Maybe I just saw 2 or 3s pop up and then I stuck it away in my brain And I went back to check, and there's been a lot of reassurance from fandom itself answering back. Maybe when these numbers settle, we'll figure out that it was only a confused 20-30% of fandom. But the fact that the topic blew up and arose so much, it is a slow time. It's a slow time for news also. So there is that. People are just desperate. Who says the Q can't age? Well, we can see that they can be. That's true. We know that they can die because that's what Quinn wanted to do. He wanted to commit suicide, which doesn't sound like there's a back door to come back later on. So in some way, in some fashion, there is that. And there were casualties in their civil war, right? The exploding supernova. So that's interesting. There's so many, the Q continuum is a lot like the mirror universe. It's just a tool. It's not even like it's its own thing. And yeah, it's a subject that is, I don't know, it's worthy of being fleshed out. But if you ever do flesh it out, are you going to ruin it? This is not fair. I've got people popping into me on text, Jonathan. They've even been the Scarecrow. Yeah, they've been everything. They can. It's not a matter of transmuting shape. Again, it's a matter of intention. There is some kind of finality to their existence individually, but what does that even mean? I mean, it's not quite as liquid, as the founders and the Great Link. But anyway, it's guys, gals, peeps. It's just another example of how much Star Trek you realize how much Star Trek that you don't know that you don't know. And I botched that. There is so much about Star Trek to go explore and flesh out. This fascination, this fetish about going back and rebooting the same old characters. I mean, use them in creative different ways, but there are it's like the Star Trek adventure is just beginning. It's like the Star Trek universe is just beginning. The canon adventure is just beginning. There are so many unexplored levels and layers and corners of the Star Trek universe that are just begging. We use 1/10 of our Star Trek brain. And these questions we've just wandered into them. Yeah. Does the Q continuum lose its power when it's not a tool to tell another story? Is it worth exploring on its own? Can we even dramatically portray that? Is that like trying to do a space battle in 1910 before you had models, really, much less CGI? Shapeshifters. It's if you had to do everything with time-lapse photography, like the earliest vampire movie. Yeah. Yes, let's see. Everybody's agreeing with me. That's nice. I'm going to say yes. Hi. I say some hellos and agreements there. Everybody's Q chose to shoot himself as having aged like Picard, but it's confusing because he appeared the same age in all three timelines in the final two-parter. But he did match in one scene. He matched. Well, that's Q existing out of time. That's like Guinan realizing that the time streams are off in yesterday's Enterprise. But yeah, he chose to appear older. But that was we're talking about a relativity of just a few dozen, two or three decades difference there, 2 or 3, 4 decades difference. Because there was just a few years earlier, the first season, the 7th season Star Trek, 6 years apart, and then what were they, 30 years in the future, 40 years in the future? That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket to somebody who could take you back to the creation of the universe. And even on Voyager to the Big Bang, let's not forget. So a lot of that's a little meaningless, or at least it's conjuring up, if you're not actually there at that time, it's conjuring up the image. And did we ever actually settle that? You want to believe it's really the Big Bang. But see, all of those exigencies are something to explore, as long as you don't ruin the mystery of that. But that's creative storytelling. There are so many mysteries of Star Trek that we thought would be ruined if they were ever explained, only to be finally explained because we're going on to the next thing. And that's hopefully good storytelling, and that's also the beauty of having a 55-year universe and being married to that and not just a little one-off movie. That's what you get to. That's called depth. That's called texture, not trivia. Hashtag. Absolutely, Narda. Absolutely. May she indeed be resting among the stars. Okay, Christoph. Were we all discussing the Pick trailer and rewatching Farpoint Station for a month? Give us a Prodigy trailer, and fandom is occupied right at the lower deck seat. Yes, I totally agree. I know he's not the lead. You can tell who the leads are the most normal-looking teenager types. It'll be interesting to see who's the breakout character and if that's who they intended to be. Somehow, I don't think that our big Tellarite teenager is going to be the breakout character, but I'm curious to see what comes out of his mouth as throwaway lines. Yes, indeed. Hi, Captain Calvin from Germany. Yay. Let's see. Oh, Melanie, you just want it all, don't you? Lower Decks, Picard, Strange New Worlds, Pike, and a new season of Orville, just for fun. I've seen some Orville noise on the horizon of people wondering where they're going. Trelane was Baby Q, Melanie says. Yeah. So, Christoph, the universe is almost 14 billion years old, and Q's misalignment of a few centuries is nothing. Absolutely. Didn't stop him. It didn't stop him. Our whole universe is in a hot, dense state. If you can't take proper care of your pets. Yes, indeed. Very good. Daniel, you have a good point, which is kind of the logic of everything. But emotionally, I would agree. If Qs can have babies, then they can age. Because there's nothing that will age you like having a baby. Yes. Very true. Amanda Rogers. Yep, Melanie. That's another example. The parents were killed by a tornado. How mundane. Yes, for using their powers. Absolutely. And that was a verdict carried out by the Continuum, just as surely as taking away our Q's powers and forbidding suicide, or putting Quinn in a comet rather than... Oh, he hid there, actually. Yeah. Yes. What else is going on? Well, hi, Rose. Coming in from Germany. The top chat. Yeah. Top chat. You're confused if Q has been banished. How can he be Q? Well, there's banishment, and then there's take away your powers. So doesn't have to be the same. It's whatever they want to sentence, because they're Q. So whatever the writers give us as his predicament, and maybe he's not been banished. Maybe he's doing whatever he wants to do. We'll have to see. For one thing, we've got months to go, apparently, and I'm sure there'll be new drips and dribbles, dropped like crumbs between now and then, too. Oh, there you go. A local Comic-Con, Lodi Comic-Con. I could sing Credence, but I'm not going to, because you don't mind being stuck in Lodi again, do you? Well, you'll have to see how you survive and let us know. But there you go, a live Comic-Con again. Yes, I should remind everybody that. Facebook folks, if you're on Twitch or YouTube right now, their platforms allow you to see all the chat comments. YouTube, even through Restream, YouTube does not let you see all the chat comments from other platforms. So that's a downside of Facebook. You don't see everybody else's. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, Vosh and Picard for the Cupid was yeah, and Jennifer Hetrick was an awesome person too to pull that across, put that across. Well, see, there you go. There's a lesson. Are we going to get to that? Boy, Justin, hey, it's a perfect lesson in why don't you wait and watch to see what happens? So many folks are now. I mean, we're human. We can't help but prejudge trailers and promos and all the drip crumbs of spoilers as they come out, on schedule or not. Thank you, John. But there's nothing like the final product. In fact, some people take 2 or 3 times to watch the final product before they really can soak it up. And of course, as we all know, sometimes you think you know what you saw, and 30 years goes by in your own life or in the world at large, and you suddenly realize, my gosh, that looks totally different to me now. I have a completely different takeaway. Oh, hey, Captain Calvin. Live streaming the entire GR tour, or any of the tours that I do, that would be amazing. We'd have to do it by tickets, of course, and that would probably mean hiring a completely second person to just camera eyes everything. Camera eyes? Do you like that? To shoot video constantly. And even then it would be, on, off, on, off. I don't know what that would be like, or if that's doable. I'll have to do some headcanon on that and see. Yes. Oh, there you go. Very, very true, Christoph. It's a 9-hour time gap. It would only be good for the morning, which I guess would work for Valley of Fire. We would pretty much end up by 10 or 11 at night. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. Now we're into the Weather Channel. That's fine, everybody. There you go. It's cooling here now, but yeah, we did have horrendous heat. Glenn, this might be a controversial statement. Might be controversial in some quarters. And there we go. Thank you, Zahir, for bringing that up. Yes. Happy birthday, Tim Russ, today. Although someone watching this a few days later will only feel bad that they forgot to post something. That's... oh, there you go. The Swamp Thing series, which I forgot. Tim Russ is a doctor, yes. Absolutely. Which he would do well with, Oh, there you go. See, Aaron and I, we have this mental telepathic link where we work all this out. Or Ollie and Aaron do, I guess, maybe. No, Ollie's got to do a checkout on his old apartment Saturday. So we just moved it to Sunday this time. Aw, Narda, that's very sweet of you to say. I'm glad I have some purpose in the world here. I somehow have a feeling you could never lose your Trekishness, really. But thanks that we can do something good in the world. Okay. Oh, okay, sure. Actually, Daniel, you'll love this. We need to do this on Trek Files some week. It's belated birthday to Sir Paul. Paul McCartney and Gene Roddenberry talked about doing some kind of a music of the world effort at one point, but it did not come to fruition. But we have some documents about it. We desperately need to do a Trek Files about it. I'm sure Sir Paul would love to come on and do a couple of 15-minute Trek Files with us when we come back. Yay. Hello on Twitch. Are you still with me. We have a UK Twitcher. I bet you're long gone, but if you're still around and made it, then yay. O Goffman, A Goffman 93. Glad you could join us. Glad you stumbled in. Yay. It's a Trek Twitch channel if you didn't realize it. Daniel, you know I've made a career. I mean, I was 18 and laughed at these things. Who would win, Nomad or V'ger? Yeah. Big things come in small packages with that Nomad. Would Tim Russ work as the doctor number 14 or 15? Do doctors have to have a British accent? I'm sure Tim could manufacture one. If we've got so many Brit actors working on their American, and we think it's clever or it's cute, or we're astounded when we see them on a talk show or at a con and they lapse back into their Aussie or their Brit. You mean you're not really English speaking? I don't know, but don't the Brits kind of get bent out of shape when Americans come over and put on a British accent? I mean, if it's atrocious, yes, but a lot of them don't do badly at it. Oh, we've got a Twitcher who wandered in here. Do I use... Okay. The Ruth Doctor should be the 14th, but Tim Russ should be the 15th. Okay. Oh, A. Gilliam. Well, your loss. I guess 55 years worth of millions of fans can be wrong then. Okay. Oh my God. Wait. Stop. Where'd you go? My chat is moving around. Look who dropped in. Are you still here? Wyatt Inson. It's awesome to hear from you, man. How have you been? It's extremely little to hear from you again. No. Congratulations on your last-minute promotion there at the end of Continues. Everybody, it's Wyatt who played Chekhov on Star Trek Continues. Yay, man. I hope you're well. Hope you emerge from the... I haven't seen anybody or anything in ages, obviously. Okay. Well, we have a Twitch conversation going on here anyway. If I could keep my chat stabilized here. I don't. Yep. So we're talking about Picard here, right? Or we're talking about John? We might have just been seeing some... if you saw John DeLance, speak of Star Trek Continues, he played a completely non-Q type character. He played a senior leader of a planet guy. The black and white planet, which was amazing. The weakness and the frailty in his voice was his body had aged 50 years. Well, you know, they're very... Picard is... And all the modern Treks, not Lower Decks, it's manically cartoonish. But the two live-action shows so far have been very naturalistic. They're not amped up. And they've let a lot of low-key, you know, I guess it was pioneered by Buffy. It's everybody standing around talking like this. Occasionally people get angry or they get loud, but there's an awful lot of just naturalistic talking, which you just think is a bad boom mic. Or the cable slipped or something. Okay, I think we've really tapped into Twitch today, guys. How far behind am I? Only 25 minutes. Okay, Christoph, this is we're gonna cross the streams here. Is that what we're doing? When they dug up a Dalek left by the doctor. Okay. My chat stream is very dookusy here. Okay. Oh, Robert, I'm so sorry. Yes, I owe 2 books out to winners. We will get that going. I'm sorry. I'm reading Melanie wrote a novel here, and none of this will ever show up. None of this will show up all in the chat. So you had a Kraftwerk Star Trek crossover shirt, and a guy lectured you on your Facebook page about it. Oh, you're using Vulcan Salute. I see. And he's mad because you're mixing reality with fantasy. I see. You should tell him. You should ask him if he has any idea how many people paid for their houses with Star Trek. It's very real. How many people raised their kids on Star Trek? Sent them to college, I mean. It's very real. It's very real. Anyway, sounds like you handle it. Oh, that wasn't meant to be a novel. Meant to be a private. Okay. Sure, Jared. Good to see you, sir. Hope you're having a good day. Can you talk about Sesame Street for a minute? For a show that PBS canceled, it sure is in the top of the parrots pretty consistently. Well, isn't it? It's on HBO, isn't it? Who's it in league with? It's being whatever. Yes. Okay, Melanie, I'm glad you got a lot of feedback about your Kraftwerk Trek crossover. Because now we're very inclusive. Because here's the thing, guys. Putting things in boxes and splitting everything up, it's not only is it not good idicness, it's not good diversity, it's not good encouragement and positivism, it's also not good for capitalism. If you tamp down people's enthusiasm or say they can't talk about something, they're not going to go watch the show, buy the stuff, inspire others. It's like it doesn't go viral as often. If you tell people they can only have one thing and they can't cross over, then you're just trimming the tree down to only the barest of the branches, which is finally what the great corporate Paramount figured out in the 90s. If we give them exactly what they want, we'll make more money. It was kind of funny. So my friend Jonathan's coming in here on text, and he's got a good mantra. I don't want to hear about what you hate. I want to hear about what you like. Is that what it is? I want to hear about what you like, not about what you hate. Well, if we do that, we'll just put the troll business right out of commission. Heaven forbid that. Talk about lowering the income level of a chunk of the world. Let's see. My chat window grab handle here is just so fritzy today. How would a Q in the mirror universe be? Captain Calvin's wanting to know. My show the window here is Captain Calvin. There was the 09 comic, which has made a huge thing, which put New Kirk in the mirror universe. It was quite cool. There you go. Yeah, the mirror universe next gen comic has been huge. That's what's going on here. Sorry guys for it being so slow. It has been actually. Oh, Jared, you ran a Star Trek Adventures campaign called The Call of Cthulhu. Very good. Hey, Robert. It's on the page. If you're interested, it's on Geek Nation Tours. It's I forget the exact pricing, but it's 7 a.m. because it'll be 100. It's 110 by noon, and it's hot. It's 95 and 100 by 10 and 11. So yeah, we get an early. I know. Look at me, but I do it. We do it, and but you can sleep the first hour. It takes an hour to get out there from the Rio up to the Northeast. So you can snooze on the van or the bus. Let's see what else is going on here. Nardi, you're tired of the reboots of Trek. So am I. So am I. Hey, Frank. Got another Portale on now. Good to see you. If the generator will ever go. Okay. Yeah. The Continuum gives the writers an out for pretty much anything they want to change. I mean, Star Trek has all of that. I mean, it would get ridiculous if it would be like, what was the Voyager Shattered? It would be like a Voyager Shattered Time just means you can bop around and do whatever you want, which is kind of what the Kelvin movies were about. The Kelvin movies, aka everything's exactly the same until it's not. Didn't have to be that way. It could have been fleshed out to have some meaning, but the real meaning was, here's what we're going to do for 10 years while the corporations are divorced, and we have to jump through hoops, and we feel like we have to do something different anyway. But yeah, Star Trek has there's so many time travel devices. Again, I love how the simplest time travel device on DS9 was the Orb of Time. You can't get much more DS9 time travel than that. I will always love the Orb of Time. Don't need a slingshot. You don't need a Guardian of Forever. Guardian of Forever is number 2, though. You just need a big. And now that we know that the Guardian of Forever is not only sentient but mobile, forget the Q. I want to know: can Guardians of Forever have babies? Does the Guardian of Forever die? I mean, guys, we've barely gotten into anything. Let's see here. Boy, Jonathan, you're really taxing me here. He's totally coming in on text here that I can't share with you guys. But yes, that's pretty true. Having said that, Jonathan says, sure, it could be an out, but what if the Q has been lying about their actual power and something has gone really wrong? Yeah, cheat code. Oh, everything's running slow on me today. What if they've been lying about their true abilities? Yeah. That would be funny. Why would they be worried if they're truly omnipotent and omnipowerful? Q originally said they'd seen where humanity was going and were quite worried about what was going to happen. So why would they be worried if they could control it? All good original canon questions that we have not totally got through. Let's see. Yes, Tuvok was in Undiscovered Country. I think you mean Generations. Michael Dorn was in Undiscovered Country playing his grandfather, Worf, which I guess would be Moog's father. Son of Moog, son of Worf. Now, what is this? Because I need to go over. On the SF debris board, some people said, yeah, Voyager's boring since the Quadrant is something like a day at the office. And you said, okay, and what groundbreaking, monumentally new concept would you introduce into Trek? And I have to see what the rest was. Okay, fine. Oh, damn it. Yes. The lag, guys. I'm apologizing here. Thank you. And there was silence. Okay, all of that for the silence that you heard. Because people are wonderful about, a lot of people, you know what, the folks who have the ideas for these are the ones doing the fan fiction. They're the ones coming up with the scripts for the fan films. A lot of people have ideas. They don't know the wherewithal, the tools. If it's just writing, if it's producing something, sometimes they can visualize that, and it's expressed as a cosplay idea. I don't mean I mean just embodying it, or here's what the person would wear in this story. Not so much like an organic, oh look, I've merged a shuttlecraft and an asteroid and I'm wearing it. You know, which I've seen, which is hysterical. But people, you know, prop builders, CGI makers that just do ship porn, whatever, they take a concept and they'll express it that way, but as a fully fleshed out story, either in print, I mean digital print, or realized as an animation or as a live action production. You know, if you've really got a biting idea, you find a way to express it. No, Tim Russ is not the guy with the most Trek credits under his belt. I think you want to look at Vaughn Armstrong. You want to look at some of the extras that didn't speak but had tons of makeup. You know, Jeff Combs is in there after Vaughn. I think Vaughn has the record. I could be wrong. That's a good point, Jared. If this would ever show up. I guess it's not good. I have to click it twice. Yeah, you spent all the 80s paying for donations to your BBS station so you could get Doctor Who and support it there. You're all ready to pay for Star Trek and Paramount Plus, CBS All Access. Yep. Okay, so Christoph, you've got the stats on. Thank you. The stats on that. Captain Calvin, an actual question. How long does it take the awesomely smart authors to write your standard Trek episode? 45 minutes. Well, it depends. If it's a straight through journey, I mean, back in the day, Gene Kuhn cranked out Arena, Devil in the Dark in like 4 or 5 days, which was amazing. Great talent and amphetamines. Good old speed. Black Beauties. And it was a tool. He wasn't a druggie. That was just his tool. That's how he did his job under the stresses that they had. Now, after that, occasionally you would have a straight through script not need to be rewritten. But when you had tortured story ideas, even from on staff, much less from a freelancer, come in, that were done and redone. Some scripts would sail through and be done, and we've got them documented. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. So it's not so much about how much do authors take to turn out a script. That's a few days. But if you talk about the whole process from somebody getting the idea to selling it, whether that was a freelancer or somebody on staff, I mean, I started to say something for breakfast, right? Riker in the Insane Asylum. That started off as in the crunch in the 7th inning stretch. They needed late season shows, and Brannon came in one day with a premise. Riker wakes up at an insane asylum, and they said, sold, go work on that. Of course, that's a lot more work than someone who's fleshed out completely an idea and comes in. And then, of course, when you see all the different names on a script, different people took it over and added to it. So that's not an average. That's not an easy average to make it all. The best case scenario might be 2 or 3 weeks. And that's, you know, if it's under duress and goes through the normal 2 or 3 copies of a first draft, having rewrites from the bosses and others, and then the changes made maybe to adjust for shooting. Maybe we had to add a scene, you know, cut a scene. You had to cut a scene, and so now you've got to put this bit of information earlier. This exposition needs to be somewhere else. All that kind of thing. So there's no easy answer for that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's probably a historic short. And if I go back to the 60s, I can tell you basically it would be 4 or 5 days. There we go. Um, 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 that's a good point, Robert. There must be a wow. There we go. There must be a strategy, a structure, a pecking order, a hierarchy to the continuum. Apparently so, because we've obviously seen some cues who are out of favor, some cues who are rendering judgment on others. We have seen cues in rebellion over a difference of opinion. So that's, yeah. How the hell do you wrap yourself around that to tell a story and have it communicate to an audience? I don't know. You thought leaving the Klingon forehead mystery was too much to take on. Nope, nope, nope. I'm glad you like my new verb, Captain Calvin. I'm going to camerize that. Yeah, sorry. We all camerize that. We will have cameraized. Of course, Christoph, you have the Selek Leitner. Yeah, you've got the best answer here. Somewhere between a day and 47 years. David Gerald had the book on his. I tried to get into short form stories, but I tried to get into some of that in all the companions and pieces that we wrote. So, hi, Joshua Rollins. Is this your first time with us? Nope, nope, nope. Everything jerked and I couldn't get there. Come on. Come on. I'm clicking. What happened here? Oh, am I going to have to? This is the only downside today. Yeah, chronological. Where did that go? Hi. Can I please have the comment that I click on? Thank you. Joshua, are you new to us today, with us today? Thank you for joining us. Glad you found us. Do I know about the updated DK book, Star Trek book by Paul Ruditis? I saw it was being updated. There's lots to update, so good on Paul. He's a great guy. He's done a lot of, I still have his West Wing book, coffee table book. And he did the Voyager Companion, although I feel sorry for Paul. People who said the Voyager Companion is not the same as the Next Gen, the DS9. It's not, and it's not Paul's fault. He was told to make it fast and quick, and he did not have the luxury of doing a lot of background researching, and he was told they didn't want that. So that's sad. That's not Paul's choice. That was the publisher editor given, and that would have been the directions given to anybody. But he's done a ton of work, including the Star Trek book. Yay, DK's entry into background, and I did see where it's being updated. So yay. Let's see. Oh, Captain Calvin saying that the new Swamp Thing is getting thumbs ups. Okay. Hey, Science Blue, another new Twitcher. Are you? Just wanted to say you love Star Trek and you're watching from Portugal. Yay! Awesome. I think you're my first Portuguese. Science Blue, you should check out all the rest of Trekland. Yeah, learnnemecek.com. Watch the end credits. But it's so awesome that you're with us. I think you're my first Portugal native to be on any of my streams or programs or panels. So thank you for joining us. I'm just curious if you have any others locally that share your Star Trek love, like a club or even a Facebook group or something, or any kind of meetup or convention organizing group, sci-fi, however generic. But I'm so glad you could join us today. That's awesome. Yes, Melanie, Life Support Live, Sunday, same time. Same time. Let's see. Aha. An actual question from before your time you're sunburned hot in space, Captain Calvin. You're always good with the questions, Captain. Is it true that Gene Roddenberry came up with the lyrics for the TOS intro song that began Beyond the Moon Star Trek? Yes. He did that so he could piggyback onto the royalties. It's sad, but he's thought, yeah. Basically, so now he splits the royalties with Sandy Courage, who wrote the actual theme. And they've never been performed except by people later on who did them because, hey, did you know there's lyrics to Star Trek? Chekhov started singing them. That would be, there you go. That would be funny. I'm amazed, actually, that it hasn't been done more than that. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I thought, Jared. The BBC has to cast a British actor in the role as long as there is one available. And when would there not be? Right. Now I have a time capsule here of where. Why is it not up? That's odd. Okay. Anyway, I tried to. Oh, there it started. That's slow. It's very slow. I don't even think marrying a British woman, Christoph, would get Tim Russ the ability to play Doctor Who. Oh, have I lost the ability to use? There we go. One more person to check off the list of STC appearances here. Indeed. Indeed. That's interesting. Talk about Mirror Universe, Captain Calvin. Wow, guys. I may have to stop posting these questions. Why did I don't give it up at all? I don't understand. Anyway, good point. If somebody ever needs to portray the Mirror Universe Troy, just let real life Marina portray it. Which is, she would love that, I think. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Diana. She's here. You're using 2 devices to be in the chat. Yay. Okay. Jared, Delancey was good in Torchwood. There we go. Good to see you guys. Yay. Jared's saying Delancey was good in Torchwood as well as was Nana Visitor. Nana Visitor. I can't believe I said Nana. Cairo is here finally. Yay. Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Calvin, that, yes. We killed off Michelle's character. Oh, sorry, spoilers. In continues. Sorry about that. Let's see. So today, Melanie, it's 88 in Modesto. The other day it was 107. Yeah, we're cooling off a little bit. Thank you, Jared. The end of the chat is coming up on long range radar. Thank you for the time. It looks like I'm amazed. The Sesame Street Star Trek crossover was awesome. You guys saw that. Sensors are down. We can't find the end of the chat. I'm glad everybody's in such a good mood today. I'm glad the stream apparently is holding up for everybody, but the lag on me posting quotes. Let's see what else is going on here. Come on, do we have? Hey Joshua, I won't spoil it, but the novelization of the Wrath of Khan is just as good as the movie. Fills in some chapters. Sitting here trying to. Why does? Oh my gosh, guys, I am apologizing here. It's gotten very spastic for me to control the chat. It's just all over the place. Maybe you all are chatting in. Hmm. It's like I grabbed the handle here and I can't. Okay, thanks, Glenn. I usually like for people to actually go look it up themselves because price is a context differently, meeting different everybody. But there you go. Hey, Jim Stoffel, Orb of Time is the greatest. Yes. Uh, oh, Tuvok was an undiscovered country. Remember Flashback, but that's Flashback, not the undiscovered country. Now, if you'd said, was he in Sulu's Excelsior crew? That's crossing the boxes. Oh, Cairo, you got your second shot? Yay. Sorry about that. Hey, Brian, good question. Hi, Brian. Hope you're doing well. Brian's question. Oh, look, I finally get it. Why didn't the house name change to House of Worf when Moog died? Well, I've got one for you. Why was the House of Duras named for the son and not his father? That's one of my favorite trivia questions. It was mentioned once. The House of Duras. It's named for the son, and it's named for the son even after he's dead. It's still the Duras sisters. Well, that's not their last name. Does anybody know Duras's father's name? It's said once. It is said once. I always wondered why it wasn't. It's for they think the writers are thinking about it as keeping it simple for the audience. They're not looking at it that way. Mm-hmm. Joshua, you're not alone. I would love to see more alien creatures too. I wish they didn't have to be CG'd. Maybe you will finally pop in here. Very slow. I'm with you. Brian says people are still squawking about paying for Trek. Geez, get over it. I know. I think the world has changed enough. Once again, Star Trek was a cutting edge and took the brunt of it in Trek world, and then things came along. Yes, Captain Calvin, Gene Roddenberry, and Gene Kuhn had big time burnout, as did Bob Justman, as did everybody by third season. They weren't getting any love back from the network. Hey, Frank, do I have any idea which original Star Trek story was rewritten the most times? Sitting on the Edge. Well, now, by rewritten, do you mean went through major structural changes? Or do you mean like had the most just absolute change pages? Sitting on the Edge, though, probably is. But I'm trying to think. There were one or two Gene Kuhn stories later that aren't as glamorous. What finally became Let That Be Your Last Battlefield started off as a story Gene Kuhn called Down from Heaven. I know. Someday we're going to get into that on the Trek Files. The basic, you can some of that's out on Memory Alpha, the bones of it, but deep diving into it. It was a Lee Cronin story, of course, because it was after he left Trek. It was at Universal, where he couldn't use his real name. The whole thing about pen names and pseudonyms to avoid getting yelled at on your exclusive contract when you're writing for somebody else, it's such a different paradigm today. Someday I need to talk to somebody about that. It was such a common occurrence. I'm not talking about taking your name off because you're pissed about it. I'm talking about you're totally in love with it, but you can't use your name because you're contractually exclusive somewhere else. Oh, I'm okay. Do we have to call Q Loci? can't Loci be a Q? There's been the Trickster. The Trickster character has been in mythology for ages, so it's hardly, it's Pan. Oh, Melanie, who's more powerful, the Q continuum or the prophets? It's apples and oranges. Oh, sorry, Alan. I'm not putting up. You know what? I'm gonna hide that. We'll just keep a clean slate here. I'll finish out the end of the chat, unless I know we've got a good question to put up. I'll just forego trying to pop up questions, guys. It's taking forever. Oh, well, now here I want to show this. This is interesting. Anyone else wonder if our Q is just a facet of the entire continuum as a single entity, like what the curl and nace goes out of it represents? That would be interesting. It'd almost be like the Borg Queen representing all the Borg, only we don't see physically the entire continuum. And then when there's a rupture in that and you see more than one Q, then something is wrong. I don't know. That could be interesting. That's that. And that is back to that. Okay. There we go. My experiment, guys. Yes, the end of the chat is entering planetary orbit, Jared. Thank you. Oh, now we get to the end, and now everybody wants to dive into deep diving background stuff. Yes. Jesse. Hi, Jesse. Taggart. Anybody else wonder if our Q is just... Oh, that was you. That's right. I thought I had another one here dialed up. Interesting question. Here we go. Christoph, isn't the Borg's highway network called Transwarp 2? Transwarp Huts? Yeah, it's about the speed system. Yes. Melanie, I'm sorry if we have churchgoers on Sunday. I know that may be overlapping church time. Can you just sit there with your little iPod? Can't you sit with an iPod, earpod? Okay. Oh shoot! I'm going to put you up again here just to. There we go. So, Science Blue, I'm really sorry you're all alone. It's very sad. Thank God for the internet. I hear you. If you were all alone in Portugal, how did you find Star Trek in the first place? Now I'm going into fan interviewer mode here. I'm going into interviewer. I'm curious how you found it. Did your parents bring it to you, or did you have a far distant friend or relation, family that brought it to you? But yes, thank God for the internet, which you understood well before the pandemic. So, hey, welcome to the Internet of Trek, and welcome to everything Trekland. That's what we're for. Go check that out. You may enjoy it. And everything else that's here on Trekland. Boom. Oh, hi, Joshua. I'm sorry. My chat is diving around. I can't grab hold of it. It's the jitziest I've ever seen chat. So, Josh, we met at Sci-Fi-Con in Lake Charles. I hope I get back to Lake Charles when everybody's moving again. So cool. Now I'll really remember you since I've had it visualized. I was trying to say, hi, Y-Miser. Is that it? Wimizer? Y-Miser? Singing something Chekhov would do. Absolutely. And welcome if this is your first time with us and coming in on Twitch. My goodness. Twitch world is exploding today. Captain Calvin. Hogan's Heroes had lyrics too. Yeah. A lot of those songs had lyrics. Bonanza had lyrics. Actually, Cairo, no, I think I didn't Transwarp come up again as an option to Voyager's come back. Because the whole thing about transwarp wasn't that it was inherently bad, it's just that Scotty sabotaged it. Yeah. Okay. Singing is kind of an IOTA's thing too. Yeah, let's for sure make sure that. By the way, I finally saw A Woman in Motion. Finally, and it's an incredible documentary. I stopped and remembered how many people have no idea that Nichelle recruited for NASA. I didn't realize that A, it was only 4 months, and B, there you go, big picture, how much it fundamentally changed the culture and the community, because not only did she bring those astronauts in, she changed the thought-making process of NASA and the federal government and pop culture and yada yada, way ahead of any of our diversity drives. And that was the 70s. In a time of representation, the drive for all kinds of things, but it was the first wave of really, really breaking some of those glass ceilings on gender and race, both. Robert McLean, Marina Sirtis could be a doctor. Absolutely. I think if we were going to be honest about age, and she went with it and embraced it, I think they could make a case for after Jodie, she could be a Hartnell era, not personality, but she could be a silver-haired doctor. I totally that after Jodie has pioneered. I think they should maybe leave a gap in between, maybe. But I'm saying this all as somebody who's totally not invested in Doctor Who at all. Totally an outside observer watching it. What's going on here? Hey, David Takechi. Hey, I see you, but I'm not going to try to put you up because everything is slow today. But glad you could make it, man. A lot of new faces and new folks in today, or folks who have not been around in a long time. Captain Calvin, you're full of questions. Can Star Trek phaser shots be silenced? Can you have a silencer? I'm trying to remember what was involved with the assassin's rifle from Second Sight on the mystery that Esri unwound with the Vulcan assassin and his transporter bullet phaser. It wasn't a phaser rifle, so it was a projectile firing. Duris's father's name, Papa Franz. No, Cairo, you're right. Klingon house names do not. It's whatever has the best, whatever has the best IMDb rating there. Should I come back around to that? Mogs. I mean, Duras's father's name was J-Rod. They said it once, never said it again. But you ever heard about the House of J-Rod? Yes, Jared says my name. Well, there was an apostrophe and one less R, I think. Yes. Okay. A couple of you were there. Yes, absolutely. Hey, Stephen, Texas Trekkie. I see you in there popping in like that before we said it. So yet everybody getting your second shots. I think we're getting to the end of the chat, guys. This is more than making up for last week. And there's a lot of good stuff people are actually bringing up now. And I'm just trying to keep up with the damn chat window here. I'm going to spread out wider. I can't spread out wider. That's weird. What would happen? Cairo, what if Q meets our new favorite Medusan from Prodigy? I don't know. What would happen if our favorite Q meets it? Thank you, Jared. The end of the chat is almost here. Yay. I probably missed some questions here at the end when the chat was getting spastic, guys. Either Q goes nuts or the Medusan is annoyed. I see what you're getting through there. Cairo, it's midnight there. Yes, indeed, I know. Where did that go? I start to answer something and then the handle jumps away. Jesus Christ. Frank is saying now that the COVID-19 pandemic is in waning period, do I think Star Trek themed face mask will become collector's items? Absolutely. Snatch up all the Etsy and homemade and all the Trek pandemic masks you can find. For one thing, they'll be collector's items, and if we have another pandemic again, you're already ahead of the game to be very stylish. Oh, voice to text. I've never tried to use voice to text. Zahir, LSL will be on Sundays only this week due to a moving time conflict Ali has. Wow, I've got my finger on the handle for the chat flow and it jerks around anyway. Oh, do we have a video interruption? I'm trying. Oh, Wyatt, that's you, Y Miser. What you want to know, merely Wyatt on Twitch, did Spock's Vulcan bodyguard in the Mirror Universe, yes, have a Prime Universe counterpart? Of course he did. Of course it did. He's wandering around there somewhere. See, that's why saying that Spock was the only Vulcan in Starfleet was crazy. Now, do they say that he's the only Vulcan on board? Oh, I bet they do. That's a thing. He's not the only. I get in these fights. I don't feel like Spock is the only alien, non-human, very subjective, very human of me. I don't think Spock is the only, even before the animateds and Maress and Eric's, I don't think Spock is the only non-human on board. Well, we've seen, I mean, things evolve. You know what? Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Do they factually say on screen that Spock is the only Vulcan? Is M'Benga on the ship only to help treat Spock when needed? Especially after Journey to Babel. So thanks everybody for welcoming Science Blue. We've made the Trek world a little larger there to include Portugal. Oh, Captain Calvin, you and your questions, little boy. What are the best Uhura stories ever written on TV, in comic, or book-wise? I'll let the chat do that. Christoph, end of the questions. Yes. Well, I hope the video wasn't too interrupted. Romulans are jamming. Oh, no, there we go. That's what we get for having the end of the chat. Allie, hi! And now we've got 25-year Trekkie with us. Allie, hi! What is your opinion about Ro Lauren? As you notice, something I would ask. I love Ro Lauren. She did a great service. Creating the character did a great service in shaking Next Generation up. You might even say, now that I think about it, you might even say she was kind of like the equivalent of, well, she was a Seven. She was a Worf. What they were for, she wasn't a regular. But she kind of did the, in a smaller scale, and since TNG came first, it was experimental maybe. But she kind of does the same thing that Worf and Seven do on DS9 and Voyager. Is shake things up midstream, even though it was fifth season. Yes. But it's great to see you all. I hope you're doing well. And everybody, Joshua, you guys in Lake Charles, Joshua, have had a rough couple years between the floods and the hurricanes, much less the pandemic. So, yeah, take care there. And tell all my Cyphicon friends hi for me. Stuart is on here at times. My German is Pidgin German. It's my favorite language beyond English, but I don't know about getting through an entire book. A mass Vulcan mind meld to get through our loneliness. Melanie, that's a great idea. Maybe Spock's bodyguard was Zahn. Marina has a unique talent of at some point offending pretty much everyone. That's just how she is. I don't count that against her. Yeah, she's kind of a non-PC world. She's like a stand-up comic that way. It's kind of the brand. Like if you haven't been offended by Marina at least once, then you've been left out. Okay, are we at the end of the chat? Okay, that guy with the questions at Germany's. Oh, that's what they call you at FedCon. I'll remember that, Captain Calvin. Yes, so long to you too, Science Blue. Do you have to run? I hope you can stay with us till the end. Michelle's from Austin, Texas. I'd forgotten that. Thank you for reminding me, Texas Trekkie Stephen. Yes, absolutely. Guinan chose Laura Moreau as a friend, and Picard said she's very particular about her friends. Okay, end of the chat, even for Trek celebrities, actors, and social media celebrities. End of the chat. Absolutely. Hey, everybody, he said as he rejuggled everything. This has been awesome. I'm sorry we had some video problems at the end there, but let's jump through this. Once again, a big shout out to all of our TTL Patreons. If you want to help spread the word here of Trekland on the free interwebs, well, slightly free, I appreciate you jumping on my very simple Patreon, patreon.com/TreklandLive. Go to Patreon, you might see somebody else you want to support too, or even more. I don't know, but I appreciate all that. Just a quick yell here that this is the centennial year, the Think Trek Centennial for Gene Roddenberry. And if you are interested in knowing more about this 2 days, a weekend, mid-October Gene Roddenberry Life Tour that's still being planned, but it's going to be awesome. I've got over 20 sites to pick from as drive-bys and stops. Rod is going to be involved as a guest. It's going to be awesome mid-October, right in there between Vegas and Chicago, or what else is going on for you. Let me know. Let me know in the chat here, or just ping me at larry@larrynemecek.com. Okay? Otherwise, if you're at Vegas and you can make it on the Tuesday before, we'd love to have you. We need 8 for this to make. We've rarely ever had more than, say, 15 or so. So I hope you can do that. Hey, we're on hiatus still at the Trek Files, but it's a perfect time to go check out some of the past episodes. There's 6 years. It's all at the Trek Files on Facebook. That's where the documents are. And podcast.roddenberry.com is a great intro to Trek Files, all the sites, and all of there's 2 or 3 new Roddenberry podcasts you should go check out. And lastly, yes, for all of you tuning in late, we are back with Life Support Live, Dr. Ali and I, but it's going to be on Sunday, this week only, Sunday, same time, same lifer time, same lifer station, just on Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK time, 7 Central, okay? Wherever you're watching me right now, that's where you can catch Life Support Live. Whoosh! And the special of the week, on Saturday, when you're not watching Life Support Live at 10, hang on. At 1 p.m. Pacific, same time as this started today, I'm on a live panel. There will be streaming chat. I was just confirming this with Neil. There will be streaming chat that he is moderating, and he can throw questions at this great panel. Me, Andre Bermanis, David Mack, and Derek Tyler Attico, and Kelly Kilpatrick, who are from, did I say her name wrong? What did I just say? Which one did I say? Fitzpatrick, like the Admiral in the original series. Yeah, sorry about that, Kelly. They work on Star Trek Adventures, the game, on the Klingon scenario that's going. So the topic is, but is it Trek? That will be interesting. I can't wait for that. It's a good mix of folks. I get to meet Derek and Kelly for the first time virtually. It'll be awesome. That's Saturday live at 1 p.m. Pacific. It's going to wrap it up for me here, aside from saying, bottom line, I put it away too quickly. I was so on top of my sign game today, except to remind you that if you're watching me on Twitter, on YouTube, that's the Twitter, just Larry Nemecek. Facebook, that is also my Instagram handle, Larry Nemecek's Trekland. I'd love to have you there. Please like and subscribe on YouTube if you haven't. And portal47.net, if you like the way I come at Star Trek, the big picture and deep diving as well, and bringing you some of the voices, even more so than you might hear bits and pieces of on the Trek Files. Hey, we've got a lot of Portales on here, and I really appreciate them. It's been an interesting year. We were virtual before the pandemic, before it was cool. And we'll be there for a long time to come. That's it for today. Wow, thank you so much. The chat was incredible today. I'm so glad we kind of made up karmically for last week. It was kind of a disaster and a couple of the bad stream weeks. So hopefully we're on the mend for that as well. Everybody, once again, stay healthy out there. Do all the things. Stay woke. Check the sources of what you're reading and who you're talking to. And Trek well, everybody.